everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I'm going to give you a look around the dining room to my doll's house. And as you can see, if you were able to catch my previous video, which went up yesterday, I did mention that there was one of my wooden dolls, which I didn't actually make the doll, but we'll come to him later. I was going to take him out, but I didn't, so he's going to stay put. I can take him out, he's not fixed down, but if I decide to leave him in, perhaps we will. But anyway, let's go in and have a look around. So up there is the window scene, which is just painted with watercolour pencils. The curtains are actually paper and the pelmet is gold mirror card, and the reason I make my curtains with paper is because I can concertina fold them, or accordion fold them, and stick them to the back of the pelmet, then stick the whole lot up with foam tape. That's how I do it anyway. And the window scene's a little bit different. We've got a small child playing on the swing and a little dog running in front of the window, or just behind the window. So I wanted to give the appearance of activity and a bit of life. So that's what I've done. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next window. We'll have to see. So coming down, we've got the dining table. If I pull out a bit, we've got the dining table and the tall chairs. And the chairs are boxes covered with wood effect paper, and the back is just some mount board also covered with the same paper. Table the same, my covered box technique as I like to call it. And on the table we have a vase of flowers. Now the vase is actually a tall bead. It's a white bead from a necklace. Actually, it's not a necklace, that's not quite true. I made a necklace from it. It was actually one of those things that you put on phones, strap you put on phones, mobile phones. But I thought that was a bit clunky for a mobile phone, so I pulled it apart and made some necklaces out of it because it was quite a big one. And I had some beads left over, and I used one of them for my vase. And the flowers, I didn't make those, they're just from my papercraft drawer. So if we come round here, this is going to be the tricky bit. If we come round here, I'll pull out as much as I can and get everything in shot because it's quite a large dresser. There's the dresser. And what we'll do, I think, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So the dresser is made from my covered box technique. And the shelves and the rest of the casing is just mount board covered with wood grain paper. And the cupboards are the same, and I've put some little they are beads, little round beads for the knobs. And if we go a bit higher, we have got a canteen of cutlery. Now I'll let you into a little secret. Not quite agonised, but I spent quite a long time wondering how on earth I'm going to do this fine cutlery. So I thought the only way I could do it is to have a detail of the cutlery on the box, on the top of the box lid, which is there, and it's supposed to look like a sort of metal tab. It's actually a piece of gold mirror card. Now those were they were real knives and forks from my drawer. They weren't from a canteen, but they were from a drawer, and I laid them out on a black. Actually, it was an old black bed sheet that I've never used. I brought it for when Graham was alive and never used it. So it was still fresh. In fact, it was still in its wrapper, but I used it as a background and I photographed it, scaled it down to size and just glued it to the top of the lid. And if we come up, we have some tea or side plates or tea plates. And if I zoom out a bit higher, you can see the dinner plates. Now the plates are watercolour paper, and the pattern is actually from a napkin, and I glued the napkin to the plates with ordinary PVA glue, and I glazed it with PVA glue, and I cut them with 2 sizes of round cutting dies from my nesting die, circular dies, and then I used an embossing tool, a ball tool, to emphasize the frame. So that's how I make my plates. I don't know if I doubt very much whether that's the traditional way of doing it, but that's how I do it. So there we go. And I'll sweep round to the other side, and let's just quickly go over here. Oh, that was my finger that got in the way. I do apologise. I was trying to find, yeah, up there. That's the serving hatch that would go through to the kitchen if it actually worked. It doesn't, it's just a faux one. Now down here, and I've just knocked it, never mind, I'll move it again. Down here, we have got a little plate of sandwiches, because you couldn't have a dining room without putting food in there. I was going to put naughty food like cakes, but everybody does that, so I thought, well, I'd do sandwiches. And the plate, I just hand cut the oval. And the sandwiches, what I did, because they're so tiny, I thought there's no way on earth I could make those individually. So the white bread effect is actually white. No, it's not white mirror card. What is it? It's white watercolour paper. That's the word. Sorry, brain freeze there. And I did them in 6x6 strips. And the bit in the middle, some people say it looks like cheese. Some people say it looks like egg. You can call it what you like. It really doesn't matter. It was intended to be cheese, but if you want to call them egg sandwiches, that's fine. So I laid them up in a big 6x6 sandwich. And then I just cut them down into tiny, less than ½ inch, and then cut them in triangles. But I did that by hand. That took quite a while, I can tell you. But that's how I make my sandwiches, my faux sandwiches. And if we come round here, this is Grandad. As you can see, he's going a bit bald on top. And they were the glasses that were looking at me in my last video. He's actually a wooden doll, which I brought in a set of wooden dolls. They were just plain. They look like the old wooden dolly pegs, but without the slit for the pegs, because they are dolls, not pegs. So if I just pull out, I'm gonna leave Grandad in there. He was actually from something else that I was doing, but couldn't finish the project because of different circumstances. He was from the murder mystery, but the murder mystery club closed because they'd lost their funding. So, and he was supposed to be the victim, but we never got that far, so I thought I'd leave him intact and use him in this doll's house anyway. And because he's wood, it's difficult to actually put clothing on him. I could have done, but I actually painted them on with a set of markers, a set of alcohol markers. So there we go. If I pull out as far as I can so that you can see it all, there is the dining room. I can't go out any further to the doll's house. Oh, as you can see, if I sweep up there, I've done the lampshade to match the wallpaper, and the wallpaper incidentally is wrapping paper, and that particular wrapping paper came from Oliver Bonus. So I get my wrapping papers anywhere I can find it. I'm not fussy, but I happen to like that when I was looking for a sort of Regency stripe, and that's the nearest I could get. So there is our doll's house, or the dining room anyway. I would have shown you the kitchen, but I know you've seen it, but the light's not on in there, so it's a bit dark. It's quite weird actually looking at one that's got a light on and one that hasn't, because they look totally different. And I haven't even started on the next room yet, so it looks a bit of a mess. I won't show you that. But when I've done the next room, which will be the living room, I will come back and show you. So until then, have a great time, have a great day, enjoy the rest of your week, whatever you're doing. And I will be back as soon as I can with another regular crafting project. And until then, take care everybody, have fun, and as always, you've guessed it, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.